Alright guys, so basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking our hubs off the rear on both sides, and then we're going to be just greasing the splines again, polishing everything up, and yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Then after this whole video, Blaster's probably going to be sitting in the shop for a few months, more than likely. Going to be putting money away and just doing whatever we can. All we really got to do is throw a back brake on her, maybe some Nerf bars, because I'm not too sure. And we're going to weld the bracket on so we can swap it to hydraulic. And after that, just brakes, going over the bike, getting everything, gas, pumps, and then we'll just bring it to the track and hope it all works out. Now what we're going to do to make sure that this is going to be lined up, we're going to take a Sharpie and then mark it. Main goal is we want both wheels spinning the same rate instead of like cockeyed. So we have even torque pretty much. Just make sure everything's good. So really, all you do is you can use paint or anything other than that if you want, but we're just going to mark the spindle and then going to mark the end of this. And then when we put that back on, just put it on the same way, and after that, just tighten it. There is torque specs, but I like to just get the impact on her, since this isn't a crazy tight. Alright, we got this off with a few taps of the mallet. Now, the reason you want to grease this spindle is so that you don't have as hard of a time as I did. As you can see in the past clip, we hammered on it a few times. Now, if you do have to hammer it off, you want to hammer it off evenly so that you don't mess up the splines. Now, another thing you're going to want to do when you're doing this, you're going to want to inspect everything, look for shearing, make sure it doesn't look like this, and just make sure everything's healthy, and then grease her up here. And after that, just put it back together, and don't forget to replace the cotter pin. Put it in here. It's going to go through the castle nut once it's torqued down. Now, me personally, I'm just going to put a few ugga-duggas, but I do recommend torque specs and following the sheets. But like I said, we're going to inspect the spines and then put this back on. Another thing I do recommend is you put some Loctite on these threads, because you do not want to take any chances with this coming off. I'm personally going to use red Loctite, although blue Loctite would probably work, but I'm going to use red because I'm intending on ripping really hard on this, and I do not want to lose a wheel mid-race. So let's get to that. Now, like I said, we're going to put a cotter pin in there. I do recommend this cotter pin full set by Nico on Amazon. This runs for about $12 to $17, probably about $20 at the max. And it states all the sizings here. And it comes with a little thank you note, which I think is pretty cool. Now I'm going to put a really thick cotter pin, thickest one I can find in here. And what you're going to want to do, come up through here, is you're going to want to just pretty much bring this in, bend them down. Personally, I do this. And then you're going to want to get a pair of dikes or cutting pliers. You're going to want to bend these tabs down You can fold it over here, and then you're gonna want to snip them to size so it can look pretty. I'm gonna use dikes or wire cutters, and then it's a little big for what I need. You could probably use a ball peen, but now we're gonna do the other side. The finished product. Sprocket. Now all we gotta do is tighten the chain. It's all shined. That's shined up. We didn't time lapse just to save you guys some time. Shined up that, and these tie rods, and here we got the shocks, and there, and there. Most of this rusty looking stuff, we just got off. As you can see, repainted the rims. Not like powder coat looking, but they look pretty good. We use a duply color metallic chrome high gloss finish. Ideal for metal, fiberglass, and wood. So we did them. And now we're just gonna go over the brake cables and zip tie some stuff. Now down the road, all we gotta do is throw another gasket on the car because it drifts a little bit, as you can see. That's the only reason we have stuff collecting down there. Got some grease over the VIN so we can read it, which I'm probably going to redo all that because that's messed up. So we're going to redo that. And other than that, we're gold painted and cleared the VIN. There you go.